Well, it takes all kinds of critters to make Farmer Vincent's fritters. Well, that sounds disgusting. That doesn't sound appealing at all. Hit the button. Let's get started. Hey there, hi there, ho there, Andrew here, the horror host of Generations X, Y, and Z inside Davis Manor. Once again, going back to the 80s, that is right, 1980 to be exact, with Motel Hell. Ooh, I said a dirty word. But before we rest the spell over at Farmer Vincent's, let's go ahead and give a shout out to the patrons. If you want to see behind the scenes stuff, converse with me via email or group video chat, earn exclusive rewards only available to patrons, or just want to support the channel by pledging, then go ahead, click the link above or check out the link in the description box or at the end of the video. Personally, I think it's totally worth it, but let me pause for self-promotion. You go ahead, click that link above. It is a cool side project that I worked on. It's called Vader's 80s Love Story, and I put it out on May the 4th. I thought, whew, this is going to be viral. It was viral. It didn't go anywhere. It's basically a Star Wars music video that I put together. And I'm able to do it because of things like the Patreon page. With the Patreon page and the pledges that are coming in, I am able to afford the editing software and everything that I am doing now. And I am able to expand my talent, if that's what you want to call it, and increase the quality of the content that I am putting out. If you want to call it good quality, cool. If you want to call it great quality, if you want to call it pretty cool content, if you want to call it I'm content with your content, I don't know, whatever. I'm going on. Anyways, let's move along here into Motel Hell. Motel Hell is about a seemingly friendly farmer and his sister that kidnap unsuspecting travelers and bury them alive, using them to create a special meat that they're famous for. This was directed by Kevin Connor and was shot in 5 weeks, even though it almost took 3 years to complete from beginning concept in 1978 to completed film in 1980 due to the fact that it was really hard to find financial backing. And I gotta say this film has a certain charm to it. I mean, a farmer raising people to eat, cannibalism undertone in there as well. It's been around for a while, but this was scripted in the late 70s and came out in 1980. So this concept was relatively new. It wasn't a trope like it is nowadays. And actually the story of a killer with famous food that normal people eat, a deranged sibling relationship, chainsaw duel at the end. Why, this movie practically all but inspired Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. The writers of the film, Robert and Stephen Charles Jaffe, I don't know how to say that, Jaffe, if anybody wants to know what the spelling is, had an original screenplay that was darker with a lot more violence and not the dark comedy it turned out to be. And Tobe Hooper, known from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, was originally going to direct, and it was going to be a Universal Studios picture. But the studios turned down the film due to the bizarre nature of the film, and with that, Tobe walked away from the project, only for United Artists to pick it up and Kevin Connor taking the helm. And that chainsaw duel that I was talking about just a moment earlier, that wasn't in the original script. But of course, Tobe Hooper would have definitely wanted to do that in that movie, which is why he had Leatherface and Lieutenant Lefty Enright do that famous chainsaw duel at the end of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 instead of the classic fight that we see between Farmer Vincent Smith and Sheriff Bruce Smith, which took about 5 12-hour days to film, and I think is worth every precious piece of celluloid. Now, it goes without saying, I enjoyed the script and that climax, but breaking down the movie, what were the pluses and minuses of the film? Well, the acting has its ups and downs. I mean, there is some great acting coming from the primary characters in the movie. Rory Calhoun, who plays Farmer Vincent, who just very He's a good-looking guy, smooth, suave, whatever you want to say. Nancy Parsons, who plays his sister, Ida Smith, she's definitely manic, and she does a great job. Nancy Parsons does a great job. I actually enjoyed every single moment that these two were on screen, whether it was just themselves or when they were playing off of each other. Now, the other primaries in the film would be Paul Link and Nina Axelrod, playing the aw-shucks mentality of Bruce Smith, the sheriff, and Terry, respectively. Oh, and if you caught that, yeah, there's another Smith. See, Sheriff Bruce Smith is the third Smith in the family. They're all brothers and sisters here. You know, well, there's two brothers and one sister. But Bruce is the hero of the story. And the brother Vincent and Ida, obviously, are the antagonists. And it throws a very different dynamic in this film. I at first really thought that maybe Paul Link and Nina Axelrod, for that matter, weren't very good actors. But the fact is, the characters are really dingbatty. And they actually play very well off of each other. And they play it well off of Farmer Vincent, Rory Calhoun, and Nancy Parsons, the sister Ida. The other characters that are in the movie, the supporting characters, really, not too many to mention because not too many of them are really known. There is Wolfman Jack. For those that know Wolfman Jack, he plays a preacher in the film. Kind of a small part, not a very big part, but it's kind of cool to see a celebrity back of that time kind of cameoing into a horror movie. And then you also had Cliff from Cheers. Yeah, look at him. He is a drummer from a band. I gotta say, that's a little weird. I mean, you know, you got Cliff in this movie, in Motel Hell, and then you've got Norm in the movie House. I don't know. And then you got Ted Danson. He was in Creepshow. I mean, hey, you got the whole cast. Where was Frasier at? That was maybe later stages. His brother. Oh, that's a good movie. I'll have to review that movie. You guys have no idea what I'm talking about right now. This is all internal. Anyways, let's keep on moving. The costuming, special effects, and set location are pretty much the norms for that day and age in the film. Nothing really sticks out that much saying, wow, this is ahead of the time or anything like that. Other than most of the movie really is shot in the daytime, which I really appreciate in horror. There are not too many horror flicks out there that push horror in the daytime. I like that. A Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one that pushes daytime horror. I'm starting to see a little bit more similarity between that and this movie also. That's a little weird. Anyways, also the smoking area of Farmer Vincent, where he makes all of his tasty treats. I really liked the set design there. A lot of dead pig carcasses and other carcasses in the area. But I just love seeing the meats being smoked in there. And of course, that's where the final battle takes place as well. The director, O'Connor, does a good job visually bringing us through the story, all while the characters play their parts. The pacing of the movie is strong and is really some good-hearted camp horror in this movie. And when I say camp horror, I don't mean like Crystal Lake camp. I'm talking about over-the-top, theatrically, in a humorous way, camp horror. This really isn't a movie that takes itself too seriously, and you shouldn't either, by the way. Is this the type of movie that gives off the great feeling of a great franchise coming your way? No. This is definitely a one-shot, and the screenplay just wouldn't allow it. But if you are a horror fan, a true 1980s horror fan, a true slasher 1980s horror fan, a true 1980s slasher camp, I don't know how many subgenres I can go on this. If you like horror, if you like 1980s horror, and if you like camp horror, then this is a staple. And you should own it if you don't own it already. So do you agree with me or disagree with me? Go ahead, leave a comment down below. And remember, like, share, subscribe, plus hit that bell icon so you get notified the moment I upload. And I will see you